but because they helped me heal in a way, I am allowing other people to listen to it. And so this is why I'm only giving one release party as well. I'm not going to go do a whole club tour about it. I'm not going to promote it too much because I think it's a little bit, do I say rude? I think it's a bit rude to earn money off the back of somebody who's no longer alive here anymore. And I don't want to trademark his life. So I think that's a bit disrespectful to him. So I'm just sharing the songs I wrote. So this is going to be the theme of this evening. It's a little bit dark, but I hope that it's going to be more of a hopeful evening too, because I'm happy. I'm really doing really well. I'm in a completely new chapter, but it takes really long to release music. So this is all from the previous chapter. So I hope that you will hear the same hope that I had when I wrote it, if that makes sense. So the first song is called More Than Twice, and it's the only song that I wrote about my relationship with my ex while he was still alive. Because I think our relationship was on display during The Voice. Looked like we had such an amazing relationship. We loved each other so much. I was singing in Arabic. Like we had this, we were quite intertwined, our storylines on TV, if that makes sense. But our relationship wasn't perfect. I was also very young, so I didn't really know what love really meant. So I think that's only one side that people see, and then people also just see that he's no longer there, but they didn't know that our relationship had ups and downs, like any relationship. So I actually broke up with him about, I think I maybe not remember it correctly anymore, but I think it was about a week before he passed away. And I wrote a song about it and I sent it to him, and then the day after, I found him. And so it's a bit strange. To talk about it in this way. I didn't want people to know because I think it's none of anybody's business. But at the same time, because our relationship was so public on TV, I felt like I had to talk about it. But that part I wanted to keep out because I didn't want people blaming me for the fact that he's no longer there. And I know that I was a factor in his suicide, but at the same time, I think if I'm really rude to any of you and you decide to kill a person, you're a murderer, not me. So I wanted to really convince myself that it's not my fault, and it's, I think, a bit harder if you're a public person and you might run into people blaming you. So this is the song about our love life. Our love life was, as I said, with ups and downs, and we run into the subject of cheating, which I think every relationship deals with sooner or later. But what I hear on the radio a lot is like you were wrong, I was right, I am hurt, you are an asshole. It's like a very one-sided story usually when people cheat, and I genuinely think that it takes two to tango. So if a person decides to, as we say in Dutch, like piss outside of the pot, probably probably you facilitated that as well, which maybe sounds very blaming. I know that my my partner was the one that cheated, and I don't want to throw him in front of the bus or anything because he's no longer here to defend himself. So I don't want to say it in a disrespectful way. I more want to show him that show you guys that he's a human being, and I apparently didn't allow him to express himself fully. And so I wanted to make a song about it that is not blaming, but is still acknowledging the pain that happens. So basically, the song is about um, it hurt me, you hurt me, and but I want to know why, so that we can maybe I can give you one more chance, so you can break my heart just one more time, but no more than twice. Somebody said when you're home alone, you still set the table for two. Somebody said you were having wine while I am missing you. Try not to apologize. Stand right there and tell me why. I swear that I can take it. There's more to us to break this. But when you found yourself with somebody else, how can you look at me straight in the eyes? Because I'm still your man. I'll try to understand, so you can break this heart again. But no more than twice. No more lies. was his name? Did it feel the same or better than I could? I'm not really sure if I wanna know, but it's better if I do. Sitting down there on your knees, it's crystal clear in front of me. A liar and a bastard I wanna share my life with, but when you found yourself with somebody else, how can you look me straight in the eyes? Because I'm still your man. I'll try to understand so you can break this heart again. More than twice. No more lies. And you're everything I wanna be, so I bond you with a piece of me, but it could have an expiration date. And I won't deny the laughter, but I can't deny this pain. Said you need a happy ever after, think I'm standing in your way. So when you found yourself with somebody else, how can you look me straight in the eyes? No, thanks. um, so, the next song is not released yet. It's going to be released next week. This one, I think, is the hardest one to sing because this was during our relationship, the last song, and the next song is going to be about our breakup. Um, so, I broke up with him about 1.5, 2 months after yeah, I think it was even 1 month after the whole voice went down, and oh, thank you, Mom, too. um, so it was about 2 months after, um, and then so I won. So then you win this contract, and then you're all of a sudden you're an independent singer, and then you also are in, I don't know how you call it in English. I believe you call it a choking contract. It means that you cannot make any money. And so I was in this, and then my management and my label was setting up writing sessions, and I never had been to a writing session, so I had no clue how it was supposed to go down. And so I had my first session, and I was just, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna sit here. I'm just gonna be quiet. I'm just gonna let all of the producers and songwriters do their thing, and I'm just gonna soak it all up and kind of see how it usually works. Well, that didn't work. It was terrible. The song that came out of it was trash, and it didn't represent me at all. And I felt like I had to carry it on my back quite a bit, even though I was the least experienced. So then I was like, okay, I'm not gonna do writing sessions because it's quite difficult to get so personal with people you don't know. So I'm just gonna make a song myself. I'm just gonna write it out myself, using very basic chords because I don't really know how to play the piano or guitar. I'm just gonna make something a bit basic, and then I have at least a little structure, and then I can give that in my first writing session. So I did that, but I didn't really know what to write about. Well, I was going through a breakup, as I said, so I was gonna write about that. I have to burp, sorry. Okay. Otherwise, it's gonna happen during the song, and that's disgusting. Um, you know how many times I've burped while recording. So Marijn is the producer of all of these songs, one of the most creative musicians I know, and we had a lot of fun recording it. But I have the tendency, if I want to stay hydrated, I apparently drink with air, so I have to burp all the time. And so when you're doing this little recording, that's super intimate and it's literally about suicide, I'm like, the whole time. It's so it's crazy. So I was having a breakup, and so I wanted to write about that. And that's this song. So this is, chronologically, this is the first song I've ever written, because this was directly after The Voice. And so I gave that to the next pair of people that I had my writing session with, and they really liked it. I felt insecure about it. They said, no, this is great. We're gonna work this out. And so then we made this song. And this is the song that I showed him. And it was about, as I said, our breakup. So I kind of wanted to stay friends with him as well. It's a bit, you don't just automatically stop loving a person, right? So I we still kept in touch a little bit, and I sent him the song, and I told him really hope that you understand the lyrics, because I there's nothing that you did wrong. I just know that it doesn't work out anymore. Even though in the first song I'm talking about cheating, this is a year further than that. So we were actually in pretty clear waters, if that makes sense. Um, and but I realized as soon as I had a sense of self-worth, I just didn't want to be with him anymore. And I told him that, and but I do want to keep my best friend, if that makes sense. So I showed him the song. It's like, I hope you understand the lyrics, because this is how I look at you. And then the day after, he sent me a very weird text. And then when I got the text, I read it in front of my mother. I was like, I don't know what this means. It was a very negative text, and it sounded like somebody was quitting. And so I showed it to my mom, and my mom said, do you want to go to him? He was living in the Jordan at the moment, and me still in permanent. And so we went to him. I didn't have a key because I had already given that to him 5 days prior. And so we went to him, and we stayed in front of the door, but nobody opened. And so then we went to the gym, because he told me that day that he was going to go to the gym. And then we went to the gym, and nobody was there. And so we went back. I texted all of his friends and called all of his friends. And they were worried as well, so they were going to come too. And then one of his friends still had the key and gave me the key, and so that I could open the door. And that's the moment where we found him, which was a strange thing. It's a bit, maybe I'm too graphic, but I really think it's important to talk about these things and the aftermath of it. I looked to the right, to the left, and I saw that the bed was open, and he had like compartments underneath the bed. So I thought, oh, he's probably traveling because he just went to Belgium. And then I looked to the right, and then I saw him standing in the living room, but he wasn't really standing because he was twice as tall as he usually is. So I think you can fill in the rest. But so I was relieved at one point, because, oh no, thank God you're there. But that 2 seconds of being relieved turned into just incredible sadness. And I whispered under my voice, oh Nate, and then I just ran towards him. And then I lifted him up, and my mother cut the scarf. And so that's now exactly 3 years and 3 days ago. And this is the song that I first wrote for him. So this is one of the most difficult songs to sing, both vocally, because it's fucking high. And it's as well, with the personal load, it's just quite difficult to sing. So yeah, thank you for listening in advance. It's crazy how it seems that all our work has been in vain. I wish that I could do something to take away the pain. All the dreams we planned, I had to send them down the drain, since I slipped my key under your door. I wish that you would just see the different smell on my sheet, a reason just to leave. And I wish it wasn't just me, that you and me would both see, 'cause breaking doesn't go so easily. Don't go breaking up with love. Tomorrow is another day. You'll find the one that you're waiting for, but he'll bear a different name. You'll be okay. He's on his way. Here is still last week when you still thought that I would stay. My body next to yours, but my mind had gone away. I'm sorry that this hurts you, there was just no other way. Promise me that you won't let your loving turn to hate. I wish that you would just see the different smell on my sheet, a reason just to leave. And I wish it wasn't just me, that you and me would both see, 'cause breaking doesn't go so easily. Don't go breaking up with love. Tomorrow is another day. You'll find the one that you're waiting for, but he'll bear a different name. He's on his way. You'll be okay. And I want, but I can't. I pretend I don't even understand where I'm at. Kinda sad, but I'm sure it's for the best. You'll find someone else. Oh, it's so selfish to ask, but I can't bear to lose a friend. 'Cause I need you. Oh, I need you. Don't go breaking up with love. Tomorrow is another day. You'll find the one that you're waiting for, but he'll bear a different name. He's on his way. You'll be So, next chapter. And I didn't really want to feel any of those feelings, so I started smoking weed quite a bit. And I didn't do anything. I kind of stopped, and I have a career that I should take care of. And the worst thing is, because I lost somebody in public, people thought, well, I was depressed, but people gave me a lot of empathy for the depression I'm in, even though I was mostly dealing with the side effects of smoking so much. So people were usually like, oh, no, but take all the time you need. Even though what I think I needed was somebody to kick me under the ass, say, like, stop smoking weed, you stupid bitch. But nobody said that. So, except my mom. Sorry, I see her. I see her. Same phrasing as well. You go, faggot, stop smoking weed. Yeah, um, so basically, a lot of people had empathy for the depression that I was in, and even though I was feeling sad, I didn't notice much of the depression because I was smoking so much, and I was high on life. I was feeling fine-ish. But about 2 years later, that money was gone, and so I had to move back to permanent because I was living on my own. Because I had enough money from the voice and from the contract, but that was all gone then. So then I needed to find a job. So I found a new side hustle. I'm a tour guide. Yeah, some colleagues are here, which is the best job ever. I'm not gonna lie, singing can like sing, you know. But that really helped to get me out of the door and get me out of the house. But at the same time, then you have all of these responsibilities all of a sudden that I didn't really know how to do because I was in the middle of an addiction. So I cancelled a lot, which they can attest to that. I didn't show up to work quite a bit, and so in last September I decided to go to rehab, which was the best thing I ever did in my life. It sounds very dramatic, but I went to Thailand and it was covered by my health insurance. Yes. Let that sink in for a second. I only paid for the ticket and I was just in a resort, food, yoga, meditation in the somewhere in the jungle in northern Thailand. It was fantastic. And also everybody was a crack addict around me. So I was just smoking a little bit of weed and people were throwing chairs and stuff. I am supposed to keep this anonymous, by the way, so I'm not mentioning any names, of course. But you know, like it was a really nice way of getting clean because why I wanted to remove myself was I wanted to afford bad behavior because if you're getting clean off of something, you're not really representative with who you usually are, and I didn't want to hurt the people that surround me more with my bad behavior from dealing with a detox, and so I just wanted to check out and come back clean, and that's what I did, and that's now 6 months ago. So I'm doing really well. It feels nice to be clean. It feels nice to be sober. But this song I wrote while I was in the middle of that, and I felt quite lonely at the time. Mm, I didn't really want to talk. Well, I did want to talk about what happened, but at the same time, people talking about suicide is such a taboo that usually people have the same questions and the same answers, and then you kind of start to see a rhythm in people, and then you start to feel a little bit lonely because you think that everybody is the same. Um, and so I wrote this song from that loneliness. I think I learned a lot from losing someone, which sounds very weird, but mm, I was convinced that that my ex was a dickhead, that he was not a nice person. But now that he passed away, I'm very aware that he was struggling and he was really suffering. And I didn't see that. I only saw a person that I didn't want to be with anymore. And I think that's a lesson. I wish he didn't have to pass away for it, but it is incredibly valuable. It has taught me about mental health. It has taught me to be more patient with people, to be less judgmental. This song is a part of that. It's giving myself the grace as well of if people aren't good for you, you can also just close the door, but not your heart necessarily. You can just distance yourself. And so I chose to do that with quite a bunch of people. But then the end result was that I was alone. So I learned how to be alone quite a bit. And then I met the most fantastic person in the world, which is Ines. She's sitting right there. Mm. We said that at the beginning of our friendship that it felt like you just came falling out of the sky. I felt so seen. It was like yay. I felt incredibly seen and heard by her, and we had such deep talks with each other, and we could talk about everything without being judgmental. And I feel like I could really put life into perspective with her, with you. I'm talking about her, but her. So yeah, I learned so much from that, and I think that that was way more healing than any therapy session I could ever have. I just felt seen and felt understood, and I felt like there was room to talk about these subjects that are incredibly difficult, and we could even have humor about it and joke about it. And mm, this song is inspired by the talks that we had, because it's, if you lose a person or you lose a partner, how are you going to love after that? Because I don't know what healthy love looks like. So are you going to meet somebody that has patience with you? Are you going to, if you just met a person, like, it's quite something to ask of a person that you just met or you go on 3 dates with, and then you're going to be like, by the way, this is all the trauma that I have. Could you please be a little bit patient with me, because I'm probably going to be mean to you, but you just need to understand where it comes from. And our friendship was platonic. It wasn't romantic. So we didn't have any of those um, boundaries or something, or these obstacles, and so we could just love each other unconditional. And that has created such an environment where I could love myself unconditional as well, and I realized that I am a fucking catch. And that makes dating so much easier. um, and so this song is about being comfortable being alone, but also wanting to have people near you. um, yeah, it's basically about being an introvert. So this song is called Hold On, Don't Leave. Hold on, don't leave. I've got this story up my sleeve. I hope you'll hear it's about me. It will be worth your time, you'll see. I hope you understand. Don't know a guy that can. If it's too much, then say when. Hold on to this. If you go now, know what you'll miss. I know forgetfulness is bliss, but there were times before like this, the times you overcame, so this will be the same. No tombstones with your name. Maybe I won't feel so alone if only someone felt like home. But on my own I'm strong. But hold on, don't go. This doesn't mean I want no one. It's just these men I loved were wrong and thought I was better off alone. I learned to love myself. How many can say that? Create a world that's safe in my head. Maybe I won't feel so alone if only someone felt like home. But till that day I'm strong, and I wouldn't want to have that any other way anyway. Have you ever felt like you could vanish and no one cared? Have you ever laid 3 days in bed? Do you ever feel alone? Places filled with laughter. Does it make you feel you need to rest? Have you ever felt like you could vanish and no one cared? Have you ever laid 3 days in bed? Do you ever feel alone? Places filled with laughter. Does it make you feel you need to rest? Maybe I won't feel so alone. If only someone felt like home. But I wouldn't want to have that any other way anyway. So, the next song is a little bit more straightforward. It's in Dutch and it is just 2 words in Persian. Because that's what our relationship looked like. It was mixed. Which creates a lot of problems, but at the same time also creates a lot of beautiful ways of putting words. Oh, relatable. You know, we all have a different frame of reference, so sometimes 2 things can be true at the same time. You just need to know what that frame of reference is. But the lyrics are quite straightforward. I wrote it as the ending of a chapter. I just wanted to write down and put into song this whole story that I just did in between every song. I wanted to put that in one different song. This is the second last song already. So this one is called Du Set Daram. You've been away now for a while. Wish I could cry, but it ain't my style. I hope you were glad you made it out. I guess it's my time now to wait it out. You should have told me how you were. You should have told me earlier. But it's okay, I know it's hard when you fall apart. Aman, aman, aman. Du set daram. Ik hou je hier. Ja, ik draag je bij me. Aman, aman, aman. Du set daram. Ik hou je hier. Ja, ik draag je bij me. You figured out I couldn't stay. You begged me, please don't go away. Surviving you, I think I can't. I guess I know now what that meant. Sometimes they hit me and I just freeze. I'm overwhelmed by the memories. I take a breath, go one by one, and put them back where they belong. Aman, aman, aman. Du set daram. Ik hou je hier. Ja, ik draag je bij me. Aman, aman, aman. Du set daram. Ik hou je hier. Ik draag je bij me. How was I supposed to read your mind? Dying but said you're fine. How's that alright? Man. Du zegt ik hou je hier. Ik draag je bij me. Dankjewel. And now this is the last song. And so this song it's supposed to be very hopeful because I'm celebrating that my life is mine again and that my heart is mine again. Ik begin het te vergeten, hoe ik kon smelten van je lach. Gaat elke dag een beetje beter en kom weer terug op eigen kracht. Misschien ben ik nu weer de oude, zoals ik altijd ben geweest. Kan ik weer van mezelf houden, waarom vergeet ik dat nou steeds? Want hoe had ik kunnen weten dat jij het leven op zou geven? Ik recht mijn rug, kijk om me heen en sta alleen. Waar ben je nou heen? Liefje, zou het zo weer overdoen? Nou klinkt het dat ik nog steeds moeten moet doen. Ik voel je als ik loop door de Jordaan. Oh, en ik haat je voor wat je mij hebt aangedaan en schaam je. We waren er toch voor elkaar, ik mis je. En soms hoor ik nog je stem en het klinkt bekend, maar mijn hart is weer van mij. Tot aan het einde nog gestreden, gaf mij de schuld van jouw verdriet. Probeer mezelf te vergeven, ook al draag ik die schuld niet. Hoe kan ik de dag vergeten? Voelt als een open diepe wond. Een open deur en felle kreten toen ik je in de kamer vond. Want hoe had ik kunnen weten dat jij het leven op zou geven? Ik recht mijn rug, kijk om me heen en sta alleen. Waar ben je nou heen? Liefje, zou het zo weer overdoen? Al klinkt het dat ik nog steeds boete moet doen. Ik voel je als ik loop door de Jordaan. Oh, en ik haat je voor wat je mij hebt aangedaan en schaam je. We waren er toch voor elkaar, ik mis je. En soms hoor ik nog je stem en het klinkt bekend. Maar als ik stilsta bij de tijd die wij toen deelden en hoeveel het ons kon schelen als ik toen was blijven staan. Maar misschien is dit wel waarom ik het moest verbreken. Wist ik veel dat jij zou breken en zo ver bij mij vandaan. Oh, oh, oh. Mijn hart is weer van mij. Dankjewel. So, Dankjewel. To my ex-partner, and I hope that after this I never have to talk about it again. I would like to leave this in the past. But because this was all about suicide and this was all about depression and addiction and overcoming all of it, I I do want to just give you like a little snippet of the music that's about to come, because I would say this, what I just released, is not necessarily representative for who I am as an artist. This is mostly representative for who I am as a person. And so, yes, this is the music that I'm releasing now, but it's mostly to provide context why I haven't been active and around for the past 3 years. And now I'm planning to be active and to be around. But I also want to make songs that are a little bit more digestible, if that makes sense. Still personal, but a little bit less would be okay. I also want to touch on different genres. I actually studied dance, and these are not really songs that I'm going to be dancing on. So this is yes, that's true. While we were recording the song, we've actually been twerking to the last song quite a bit. So, so leave, yeah. So it's overdoing over, yeah, which is very intensive, but also very fun. So I want to just show you a little song that it's gonna get released in the next year or so. I hope it's gonna happen a bit quicker, but just to show you a different genre, so that this is not too representative for who I am as an artist, just to prove you a different sound. I hope that people will never expect what's coming from me. That's the goal as an artist. So this is called Welcome, and it's gonna get released somewhere in the next year. Welcome to the magic world of pain and misery. If you crave a different taste, then fix your eyes on me. 'Cause you want my life, long for something new. Want me as your guide and let me say the truth. 'Cause you only see this version of me, a spin of your mind, not someone that can feel, but someone that is real. I know, da 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 da. Welcome to the grandest place where beauty never fades. No one knows behind this face a game of masquerade. Let everyone glare, I pretend to care. If you knew the truth, you'd leave me standing there. When everyone sees this version of me, no spin of their minds, but someone that can fail. I'm someone that can fail. Welcome to the magic world of pain and misery. Dankjewel.